Alexa, stop. Hold on. I'm trying to check. All right. We live, so there you go. We live, so there you go. All right. So a little early today, so I'm gonna bug for a little bit. Make sure it's working. Now about to watch me play something. Hold on. Pooh. While we get our lives together. Wipe off this camera. All right. Let's go. I hope y'all had a good week so far. Mine has been productive. Yeah. Hella productive. Got another referral today. So I'll be doing some traveling in March as well. And I had Savannah, I believe. But the other one, yeah, I'll just stay home. It's close enough where I can drive to every day. Can't say what it is, but you know. Man, today I just me talking to myself. Yeah. Just love the Wayne's brothers. I still be watching that shit. I mean, I still be watching it, period. And I love Pops. I remember I went and seen him one time when I was in Milwaukee. One of the best stand-ups I've seen. Wow, it was pretty good. Pops got jokes. Pops got hella jokes. And I don't even know if I have the book set up or anything. Just burning some time. But we start at 7. What's going on? All right. Let's see what we gonna do. Let's see what we gonna do. Turn that. I ain't gonna supposed to follow me, so we'll see. I never turn it on. I always carry that thing. But occasionally, I got future ideas. I'm gonna do something with it. That's where I am. So it's for when I do my cooking and stuff. But man, it's funny, man. I've been recording hella videos that I don't never post. Just wild. Which is wild. But I got somebody that stay on me about it. So I'm probably gonna have to start posting at some point. And that's for real. That's it. Yeah. Boy, hey. I want to play some music, but mess around in that thing like, we muted your video because you ain't had a copyright to the songs that you were playing. So that's why I like when I stream from my computer. I can set up some music. I just play whatever's on there. I don't set it up. It's like Muzak, if you know what that is. So, man, come to find out, this company in North Carolina, or it was at some point. And I knew some people who worked there. But, man, I used to think that, like, when you're working in retail, that the music they were playing was, like, from a radio station or something. But it is Muzak. They just do retail music and CDs and wild shit like that. Just crazy. Oop, oop, oop. Ah, let's see. Well, people been on at 7 o'clock. I start telling you I had some great food today. Tried something a little different. It's pretty close to me. I've been wanting to try it for a minute. I heard some sounds, but I forgot. These wave drums. Yeah. I like the wave drums, but individually, I hear no waves. Together, it sound like, oh, let me tell you something. This little table, these pockets are unforgiving. Mm. Let's see. And I was fucking some food up earlier. Think about it. It was delicious. Boom, boom, boom. Oh shit, that sucks. I'm gonna try it too. Oh shit. Man, sword fighting. I get a different box for that. I'm gonna do some redecorating. I seen this on TV last night. That's what I always say when I'm about to make a crazy shot. But I don't know if I'm making it right now. I'm gonna try it. And boom. But that sucks because I don't got nothing. Let's go. I might get one more in before we get started. Okay, yeah, we're finishing. Well, we're not finishing it for sure. That book got long chapters. We're going to continue the sentence. Boom, boom. Man. This pool table is evidence of one of my wants. So I don't know if you mess with me on Tuesday nights. On Tuesday nights, I go live on Facebook and I do energy readings or, I just talk about the healing process and various things. And one of the discussions that came up is how I spend my money. And did I like the video? What video? I had to use my words. Welcome. I got on a little early today, so I was in there playing pool. I was gonna play some music, but it'd be like, I muted your video. So I ain't got time for that mess. I want my kitty cat shirt today. I'm back in the gym, can you tell too? I fell off a little bit when I had a girlfriend. Well, I said what video? Okay, well, since you're here, I'm lying. I'm about to play another game. What video are you referring to, young lady? But anyway, so what I was saying was one of the discussions was around how I spend my money and how I don't treat myself. Like somebody asked me, about what am I going to do for my birthday? And I was like, I've never done anything for my birthday. And then I started thinking about I don't really do too much for myself in life, period. Long stories, and you know what I mean? I realized I spend a lot of money on my necessities, but not my wants. So my money goes into food, clothing, and shelters, and the things that make those things function a little better. But so now when I think about it, one thing that I got that was just a want. And for no other reason, not for no other reason, I wanted this for a long time. And it is this pool table. So I have done one thing for myself. I splurged too. I mean, I did what I'd say splurged. So it was $500. Oh, you said, did I make the video? Nah, I got pieces of it. So but let me tell you something, man. It was Brazilian, and I had one of their empanadas. And I love empanadas. I love everybody empanadas, but I like the pastry ones more than the breaded ones. So I like Mexican empanadas. I like even Jamaican empanadas, even though they call them beef patties. I like Venezuelan empanadas, but today is my first time trying a Brazilian one. And so when I eat these, I don't know where they from. I don't think they're definitely not Mexican. They might be Salvadorian. So I go to this empanada restaurant in Charlotte called Empanada Go Go. And their empanadas are jumping. I love them. But they have either flour empanada or corn empanada. And I do not, as much as I love their empanadas, I do not like their corn empanadas because the corn is so thick and I don't know, it just don't hit right. But the Brazilian definitely make their dough out of cornmeal. And let me tell you something. That is by far the best corn empanada I've ever had. And I guess they fry it and it winds up being like crispy on the outside. If you make your salmon patties, I make my salmon patties with cornmeal, not flour. So you make them with cornmeal, it gives you this crusty type feeling a little bit more than flour does. So you got that kind of feeling, but and then when you bite into it, it's like cornbready, and then it's like a layer of, I don't even know if it is cheese, but it just tasted creamy, like cheesy. I was like, man, that thing was amazing. And then I tried one of their other ones. They got this little chicken. Well, I got a bunch of them. And they got this little chicken one. And man, it's more, it gives you, put you in the mind of like a stuffed pretzel. So I did try the banana cake though. So that thing, let me tell you something. I ain't even gonna lie. And oh yeah, that man, listen, that empanada was amazing. Let me turn this around so you can, let's see. Flip camera. Is that it? Boop, boop, doop. So she was like, this is like a donut, but it really feels like a donut. It feels like a bun, but it is a donut with what is it? Dulce de leche. Let me see. I actually put slabs of banana on the cake, and it is amazing as well. I don't know. It's like not coffee cake. I don't. You know what? It's really like a cake made out of cornmeal. As a cake, baby, maybe that's what it is. But I used to love. I like cornbread cake or whatever you want to call it. But it's like made out of cornmeal, and then I don't know what that is on top. But then they put a layer of, I don't even know. But it's very banana-y. So if you don't like bananas, don't mess with it. But it's like it puts you in the mind of, there's a couple of types of bread pudding. It's that thick bread pudding that's kind of fudgy like. It's not like that. So it's like that the grainy bread pudding is still good. That kind of like melt in your mouth, like, but you ain't really gotta chew. So that's what the banana bread is like. And I've been trying to record like when I eat it. So I bust open the empanada and I ate it. I don't know how I'm gonna edit it, but we'll figure that out. I mean, I decided I guess I'm cause it's wild cause my phone just kind of connected to my computer. So it makes it a ton easier to get the videos and stuff off my phone. So I'm gonna see what camera video editing is like. I have been using Clip Chip, whatever that Microsoft mess for my videos. But hold on, since you don't want here. Let me see. Do I feel like going through all that? What you think? Yeah, I was going um try to share it, but what you think? Hmm, nah, I'll just share it later. Come on now. I don't feel like going through all of that. Maybe I can. Do it with. You think Ross would be useful? I'm over here talking to myself, talking about how can I share this on my page, but I don't know if I want to do it with Ross Rothschild. You know what I mean? Yeah. Okay, give me a second. Let's work this out. Baby need a new pair of shoes. Turn it over to the Lord and he worked it out. Yo, listen, that used to be what was it? It's okay, what's going on? It says I was live. Well, I guess you own it. Oh yeah, I am live. Hey, look, I'm hold on. Save to share to news feed. All right, you have me. Yo, I hate that the multi-stream don't work. Well, I had problems with the multi-stream anyway with the I had problems with the multi-stream period because well when I'm mobile streaming because it don't let me stream to my page. Come on now. Boop, boop, you do. All right, there we go. Can you see me? Big Papa Pumps got your hookup. Holler. Can you hear me? Uh-oh. Did okay. Oh no. It say nobody watching? That kind of sucks. You find out it disconnected me. Oh, nope. One person. Who is it? Hello. Thanks for joining. Okay. You came. I don't know what happened. So, you know what? Well, I ain't going to say start tripping, but start stream labbing. Oh my God. What is wrong with you, man? All right. I forgot to turn out all these lights. You know. Do-do. Do-do-do-do. Since you yelled at me about, what was you doing with that psychopath, that ski mask she was making? Like, it made me think of this Project Pat song. I'm not even gonna sing that. Yeah, it's a Project Pat song. So if you know me, I'm a Project Pat fan, and I can't sing none of his songs live. But what were you doing with that ski mask? Okay, I brought out the Ram blanket. Let's see. Uh-oh. Call me irresponsible, and every time I see you grin, testing the pattern. What do you mean? Seeing if you can do it? Uh-oh. I was just testing the pattern, man. I'm not tapped into that world. Uh-uh. Nope. Okay. That thing's burning. I got that you see the thing on the ceiling? You see? Okay. Well, did you like the outcome of it? And when it looks real gangster, like, I feel like, what you wanna be? 'Cause I can't pretend. What? More than friends. Hold on tight and know what's the what's the movie I'm talking about with Cleo and all of them? They robbed the bank. She got she got she got murked at the end in the classic whip. I know you know what I'm talking about, man. What's the movie? What's the movie? Oh, but what I was saying, you see that thing on it's supposed to be a sign. I don't know about that. Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that? Not particularly. No. So I'm looking at that thing like sun. Man. Sun what? You heard? Sun what? I brought back out the rambling. I've been a ram all my life and I'll be a ram till I die. Whoa. So hard to be a ram. So hard to be a RAMS. Woo. So you have new gadget? Set it off. Thank you. You had me over there singing the hell out there. Took you an hour to tell me what it was. I'm embarrassing myself and stuff. Okay. In the school. No, I don't got a new gadget, but you know they coming. I'm gonna give me a cordless lamp too. Let's see if that helps. What's going on? How we gonna do this? Okay. Boom. We're gonna move this faux sun. Oh shit. That might be dangerous. You might mess around and have a seizure. They be like, sir, well, look what you have done to me. Yo, you know it's wild. Oh, what? No? Because if they trying to watch it, they ain't watching it on Facebook. So they have to come here so I can see. So I can talk a little crazier. Because this is me. Just me and you. Ooh. That food was good, though. I mean, yeah. Now I'll try some more of their pastries. Mm-hmm. They did that right. Mm. All right, so hopefully this time I won't do this and I'll be having that problem. I'm like, so the man says, oh God. Hey, I'll be so happy. I guess I got my winter skin too. And my tattoos be showing up. What's that? Oh, it takes a few seconds for the comments to pop up. So that's what it is. I got it. Okay. Okay. Not you slow on the draw. All right, what we on? The sentence. What's that? Louise Erdrich. We on whatever this chapter is. 2. I don't know if it's 2, but it's called Woman. So we on Story of a Woman. November 2019. 5 days after Flora died, she was still coming into the bookstore. I'm still not strictly rational. How could I be? I sell books. Even so, I found the truth of this hard to accept. Flora came in when the store was empty, always on my shift. She knew our slow hours. The first time it happened, I had just learned the sad news and was easily rattled. I heard her murmuring, then rustling about on the other side of a tall bookshelf in fiction, her favorite section. In need of a good sense, I picked up my phone to text Pollux. But what to say? I put down my phone, took a deep breath, and queried the empty store. Flora? There was a gliding shuffle. Her light heeled quiet step. Excuse me. Her light heeled quiet step. The material she'd worn was always of the sort that made slight noises. Silk or nylon jackets, quilted this time of year. There was also the barely perceptible tap clink of earrings in the double pierced lobes and the muted clatter of her many interesting bracelets. Somehow, excuse me, somehow the familiarity of these sounds calmed me enough to go on. I didn't panic. I mean, her death wasn't my fault. She had no reason to be angry with me, but I didn't speak to her again and worked unhappily behind the counter while her spirit browsed. Flora died on the 2nd of November, All Souls Day, when the fabric between the worlds is as thin as tissue and easily torn. Since then, she has been here every morning. It's disturbing enough when the regular customer dies, but Flora's stubborn refusal to vanish began to irk me. Although it figured she would haunt the store. Flora was a devout reader and a passionate book collector. Our specialty is native books, of course, her main interest. But here comes the annoying part. She was a stalker of all things indigenous. Maybe stalker is too harsh of a word. Let's say instead that she was very persistent wannabe. Okay. Okay. Excuse me. The word isn't in my old dictionary. It was slang at the time, but it seems to have become a noun in the mid 70s. Wannabe is from want to be, as in a phrase I've heard many times in life. I used to want to be an Indian. It usually comes from someone who wants you to know that as a child, they slept in a teepee made of blankets, fought cowboys, tied a sister to a tree. The person is proud of having identified with an underdog and wants some affirmation from an actual indigenous person. These days are not long and try to sell a book, although people who tell the story rarely buy a book. I, I put Paul Chott Smith's Everything You Know About Indians Is Wrong into their hands anyway. Wannabe. At its most fervent, this annoying impulse I used to want to be an Indian becomes kind of a personality disorder. It turns into a descriptive noun if this fascination persists into adulthood. Over time, Flora disappeared into an earnest, unaccountable, persistent, self-obliterating delusion. Flora told people that she had been an Indian in a former life. That was her line at first, anyway. No formal argument could disabuse her of this notion. Later, once she absorbed the fact that Indian in a former life was much ridiculed cliche, she changed her tune. She suddenly discovered a shadowy great grandmother and showed me a photograph of a grim woman in a shawl. The woman in the picture looked Indian-esque, or she might have just been in a bad mood. My great grandma was ashamed of being Indian. She never spoke much about it, said Flora. This shamed out grandma was another common identity trope. I asked about the tribe, and Flora was vague. Oboe or Dakota or Ho Chunk, she was still doing research. I was pretty sure Flora had plucked that photo from a junk store bin, though she insisted it was given to her and changed that to pass down. I thought of questioning this, but for a long time she had been doing the work of angels. Flora fostered Native teen runaways, raised money for Native women's refuge, worked in the community. So what if she needed, however fake, a connection? She showed up every powwow and protest gathering and would even show up on the doorsteps of her favorite Native people unannounced. And the thing she always had a gift. Books, of course, or a bag of pastries, a coffee maker she'd scored at a yard sale, ribbons, fabric. Also, she was nice and good natured, not just friendly, but ready to help. I mean, she would do your laundry, Why did her niceness grate on me? She would buy meals, loan money, help sew quilts for ceremonies, and she always had tickets to movie previews, new plays, artist receptions, usually some indigenous connection. At every event, she stayed a bit to the bitter end. She always been that way, or so I heard, the last to leave. So in death, as in life, she couldn't take a hint. One morning at the store, I lost my patience and said what apparently no one ever told her in life, that she had overstayed. I spoke to the air. Time to go. She fell silent. Then her footsteps began again, sliding and sly. A picture of stealthy resentment formed. A picture of her stealthy resentment formed. I had trouble catching my breath at it. I had trouble catching my breath, a bit afraid, as though Flora might materialize right in front of me. She had been a striking woman in her indeterminate 60s, comfortable in her body. Her face was large featured and vivid, a bony nose, jutting cheekbones, a pink poof of lip, and she wore her whitening blonde hair in a messy updo. Flora was a pretty woman, used to be gawked at, unable to let that go. She'd been pursued by native men, but somehow she never married one. Flora loved powwows, had made herself a traditional dance outfit of buckskin and purple beadwork. She had plenty of acquaintances who believed in her grandma picture or indulged her because she was helpful. She smiled in delight as she bobbed around the dance circle. Flora had a foster daughter. She informally, adopted as a teenager. Kateri, whose name for the lily of the Mohawks, Kateri Tekawata. Sound like I said that right too, but I know I didn't. Oh my God, forgive me. The original Kateri was canonized in 2012 and is the only indigenous saint in the Catholic Church. This contemporary Kateri had come to the cities as a runaway, and she still had family in the Grand Portage. About a decade ago, she became the focus of Flora's life. After high school, Kateri started college at the University of Minnesota. She was now working on a teaching degree. When she had called with the news about Flora, I didn't ask many questions except about the funeral. Kateri told me there would be an autopsy, no funeral. She would let me know about the memorial. I had begun to wonder when this commemorative service for Flora would take place, for I hoped a decent memorial might satisfy my ghost and take care of the problem. A week or so after she called me, Kateri walked into the store. I thought she had come to deliver an invitation to her mother's memorial, which I expect to be held at the American Indian Center. If she could have, I know that Flora would have bought a casserole from the other side. Kateri is an imposing young woman, athletic, a bit fierce. Her long hair is chopped brutally short, an act of grief among Native people. Her clothing was simple, a lightweight black windbreaker and jeans. She wore no makeup, not even a hint of lipstick. Her eyes were shadowy and tired. Her face was calm. Maybe she was already cultivating calm in her work. Kateri would be a high school teacher, someone who supposedly cannot be fooled. Although I imagine that, to most people, she lacks a warm manner. I find her coldness reassuring. She is single-mindedly professional. She has a disciplined bearing and a sharp presence. If she'd been a CO, I'd have steered clear. I wonder what type of book I might be able to sell her under the circumstances. But she was already holding a book. I thought you should have this. She handed the book to me. Flora's extensive library included rare editions of old books, manuscripts, local history. She was also fond of keeping the advanced reader's editions of her favorite novels, and we sometimes tracked them down for her online as a courtesy. As she did for all books she collected, Flora had used her own cover paper, cream, archival to protect the original jacket. The cover bore the imprint of Flora's specially embossed stamp. She had never been in favor of see-through protective plastic film. I had seen her collection often. The eggshell white bookshelf in a Navajo White House filled with dove white books embossed with Flora's nearly invisible stamps made me crazy. Kateri explained my mother died around 5 a.m. in bed with this book splayed open beside her. Splayed? She died instantly? She died instantly, said Kateri, implying she had not the time to use a bookmark. What? No, that's right. Kateri said that one of her bookmarks was found in the bed covers. Flora's daughter had lifted the book carefully from the bed, saving her mother's place. She had inserted the blue bookmark to signify the last page upon which her mother's eyes had rested. I thought Kateri's impulse to mark those last words was morbid. However, if anyone was morbid, it was me. Experiencing those disturbing visits from the other world, I found myself gazing at Kateri too fixedly and turned away. Kateri didn't linger. It was rumored that she'd moved into a mother's stone-trimmed cottage in South Minneapolis, and I imagined she had a lot to do. Left alone, holding the book, its protective jacket slivered, but otherwise pristine. I felt strongly the presence of its owner. I used to bend towards Flora across the counter. Her voice was often heavy with dismissed hope. For all her generosity, people rarely made her happy, but books did. It was unconsciously leaning over now when I did. I'm sure of it. Hear her voice. The words were unintelligible, but the voice was Flora's. I was startled that I cried out, and then was glad no customer was in the store. I rocked back, still holding the book. It was an oversized book and seemed well-made object with a pleasing heft and warmth. It had the dry, subtle scent of a well-cared-for old paper. I did not open the book. I was conflicted by the sudden joy I'd felt hearing Flora's voice when her living presence had annoyed me. When she wasn't throwing herself into Indian lore, Flora had been devoted to, in an almost mystical sense, to literature. Omnivorous and faithful, Flora had followed literary series to the end. She bought hardcover copies of her favorite authors and was discriminating about paperback editions. We exchanged excitements and argued about them all. I missed that. I missed how she kept up with the books, excuse me, that would appear each season. Her pre-orders were a sign we should increase our own. A couple of times when ill or indisposed, she asked us to deliver an order. I had always been the one to bring the book. And if Flora was being herself, not deep in some indigenous obsession, often sat down for a tea or a glass of wine. We had to talk how we had talked about books. You don't ever have to leave, I'd whispered, and then added a strange of longing. What did you think? I put Flora's book high on the shelf where we display Ojibwe baskets and decided to take the book home that evening. As I was the one on duty when she visited, I thought perhaps I should keep it. Besides, she had spoken to me alone apparently. I have experienced the creepiness of oral hallucinations. Also, I was finding this dimming season sharpens one. The trees are bare, spirits stir and strip branches. November supposedly renders thin the veil. I can see that. Ragged bookstore romance. An hour or so after Kateri left, one of our young staff members breezed in wearing a pair of ragged black plazo pants and a black bookstore sweatshirt with the hood thrown back. Most everyone who worked there has an alternate life, and Peniston Brown, an artist and a writer. Her rimless blue tinted glasses were clouded with fingerprints, and her hair was slicked back into a sumptuous bun. As always, she wore an inevitable pair of boots, black lace ups with metal red wing label. Most of the time, she noticed nothing. Once in a while, she notices everything. Today, she critically exclaimed that the books in one of our large front table. Penn is one of the mass young native people who have book crushes and rich book life, a true individuality. Penn proselytizes for books, maintains our staff picks display, meticulously receives books, and makes sure our windows and front table invite browsing. A friend of the store constructed the front table from a poetic remains of a small sailboat, and Penn has high standards for what she places on it. Why don't we have Clarice lip sector out? Asked Penn. You fell in love with her eyes, remember? You took it. There was another copy. We sold it. But you're right. I think mine is still in my paper in my backpack. Penn started working here because she developed a obsession with female authors, alive and dead. And she was having a May December romance with Isaac Denison stories. In the beginning, she told me that she intended to get a Mount Rushmore style tattoo of her favorite female authors on her chest, Clarice Octavia Joy. She was debating between Isaac Denzel and Zitkala Sa and Susan Satong. I thought it was a ridiculous idea, so I confused her by extolling Margaret Duras. Would she choose Duras' young face from The Lover or sexy rabbit face from Thereafter? At last, I told her the whole thing would make sex uncomfortable. Who wants to be confronted with 5 pairs of eyes in bed? You're not going to have sex with all those grandmas peeking over your doodle slag, called Jackie from the office. What makes you think I have sex on my back, said Penn. I think about the time and think about what time does to the bosom. Okay, I know that's right. I said in a prim voice. By the time you're 60, they'll look like The Scream, that mask, that's why. Oh my God, cried Penn. Will you aunties leave me alone? But she was laughing too. Actually, Penstemon is desperately romantic, deeply tied to her traditions, and I worry for her paper heart. Recently, she took off on one of her mysterious spiritual quests, or maybe she's in love yet again and keeping it secret. Every time Penn falls in love, she falls hard. You say Florida culture vulture. Hey, I guess. And she was going hard. I remember I met this girl who you think she was Mexican. And I asked her, was she Mexican? She was like, no, I'm white. I just like their culture. I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, seriously. So I don't know how I feel about that. Do you thug is, I guess. Do you thug is? Maybe that. Today, from the state of her clothing, she looks like she landed in some garbage. There were chalky smears on her sweatshirt, a bright ribbon of ketchup on her cuff. Her eyes were hollowed with the lack of sleep. Did you go home last night, or this your bookstore persona now? I asked. A ragged persona? She cocked her leg up and regarded the cuffs of her drapey pants. I met a guy. Here? I asked. She nodded and looked around the store as if to make sure we're alone. He's white, she whispered. Is there anything else wrong with him? I was being sarcastic, but Penn took me seriously. She is a sucker for the doughy-eyed versions of Jesus Christ. Oh my God. He doesn't like hot pepper, she said. What? Okay, I guess it makes a difference. He doesn't like hot pepper, she said, and kept working with a solemn distracted air. But he has a beard and long brown hair. Here we go. She just said she liked the Jesus types. Small bookstores have the romance of doomed intimate spaces about to be erased with unfettered capitalism. A lot of people fall in love here. We've even had a few proposals. Penstemon stomped back to the office to haul away signed books and restock the shelves. A customer came in, lunging hungrily toward the sailboat table. After meandering around for a while, the person came to the counter and asked if I was Louise. I don't look like the least bit like Louise. She's years older, but every woman, even some guys who work here, get that question. I gave my standard answer, which was usually true. You just missed her. Oh well, I'm here for Clarice Lipspector, said the customer. I could have bought it on Amazon, but I said to myself, although I live miles away, the other side of St. Paul, I said to myself that I really should support the little independent bookstore. So I drove all the way over here. You know, it took me an hour because I-95 is down to one lane again. Just a moment. I told the self-congratulating customer to whom I nevertheless grateful. The book was probably in our warehouse. I went to the office and interrupted Penn. She started, what? Guiltily. What? Penn, who started guiltily? I don't even know. This doesn't make sense, but she was reading Liz Spector. Did you crack the spine? Of course not. No, I hardly opened it. She examined the book. It's perfect. Listen to this. Out of a whole lifetime, by God, sometimes the only thing that saves a person is error. I know that shit is right. I know that we all should not be saved so long as our error is not precious to us. My error, my precious error. I think about that quote later. It's from the story of Monero, an interior argument about justice. Such a good story. I've got a customer who drove all the way down from St. Paul and wants it. Let's give her a discount since I opened it and all. Can I bring it to her? Nothing makes Pinstons happier than handing a favorite book to someone who wants to read it. I'm the same. I suppose you could say this delights us, although delight is a word I rarely use. Delight seems insubstantial. Happiness feels more grounded. Ecstasy is what I shoot for. Satisfaction is the hardest to attain. I was hardened when I started selling books. I resented those who came in the store disturbing my communion with the books on the shelves. But the people who love books softened me. Customers, I suppose. But when I use that word, it means much more. When you recommend a book and a customer buys it, they are taking a chance, trusting you. Trust makes me nervous. I might laugh too loud or awkwardly crash into a sailboat table. It's hard to maintain self-control because underneath it all, I think if you knew me, you'd run out the door. But nobody flees. The best thing is when a customer comes back and praises the book you recommended. I can't get enough of that. Boy, I saved my lawnmower money to buy this book. Me? I had no idea kids still did this. Boy, kids still pull up to the couch cushions too for change. See? He held up a bag of coins and small bills. Me, well, I'll be hornswoggled. Teen girl, are you still open? Oh, thank God. I ran here. I promised myself. Me, promised myself what? Teen girl, this book is my birthday and it's a present to myself. She holds up Joan Didon's biography. For the rest of the week, I enjoyed this moment. Woman in tracksuit. My son is a teenager. He wants to know how to be a feminist. Can you recommend a book? Okay. I handed her We Should All Be Feminists. I wish I could know if he liked it. but I never hear from her again. Woman, it has taken me years, but I've read all of Proust. I need something complicated. Have you read The Russians? My God, has it come to this? Young woman, what do you suggest for someone who needs to gird her loins? I mean, so to speak. Does it involve a special occasion? Young woman, yes, a family reunion, and most of them are angry with me. If you don't mind me asking, young woman, they are pressuring me to break up with my fiance. They want me to marry someone who isn't. It's racial. They don't say so, but it is. I would suggest Sea of Poppies. It contains a rad, radical, romantic scene in which the lovers band together to deprive a funeral pyre of his widow and elope from fire across water. Interesting. Okay. Paper towels. After Kateri gave me the book and I brought it home, our resident spirit kept to her routine. But short while later, I began to suspect that she was also coming in at night. When I'd enter the store in the morning, I'd find piles of papers and books askew, as if someone had searched through them. An odd thought came to me. Maybe Flora was trying to find her book, the one Kateria had given me. I dismissed the thought, but the gentle ransacking did not stop. I grew used to straightening and restacking in the morning. Asima Larson was scheduled to open the store. Asima is 22 years old, a history and Obuaje Ojibwe language major in the University of Minnesota. She is mostly Ojibwe, but of grandfather's part Sisseton Dakota, and the rest of her is Norwegian and Irish. She'd parsed all of this out one day when we were parsing out me. Yesterday she called in sick. My bloods are at war with each other again, she had said. What are you talking about? Historical determinism, as physically manifested, the seaman went on. I have severe cramps. I'm sorry. Can you cover my shift? What? That's an interesting way to say that shit. I did, and today she was back in. How how was your historical determinism? I asked. A little better, she said. I drank raspberry leaf tea all day yesterday. Good. I missed you. Oh, you're so sentimental. Thanks. Actually, I was being swamped. The store was busy. Don't you young people know about my dog? My dog. Hey, if I was really traditional, maybe I'd be isolated in the moonlight somewhere, scratching my back with a long stick so I don't pollute myself. Don't get me started, said Asima. You know my take on that. How was your language thing with your elder? I asked. Crazy good. Me and Hank rode around the community on a golf cart bringing Meals on Wheels. I noticed an inked outline on her wrist. So what's the Ojibwe tattoo for? What's Ojibwe for tattoo? Asima looked alarmed. I have no idea. She muddled possibilities for a while, then she texted Hank. She stayed at the phone for a minute. I cannot say this word, so I ain't even finna play myself. That's a lot longer word. Yeah. Everything's a lot longer in Ojibwe. It's MazinizhagA apostrophe EBII apostrophe IGAN. You know, like I told you, you read to yourself, you can make it up. But I'm not gonna be out here just reading it. Sounding that's not gonna happen. She gave me a significant look, which I ignored. In terms of tattoos, Asima is the way of head of Peniston. On her left shoulder, she has a tattooed hawk diving down to chase blue swallows on her wrist. She's saving money to have the blue swallows fly right up her arm to feed their nestings at the top of the shoulder. That way, when she clasps her hands, it will tell she will wear a story of escape. Her long brown hair is tied in two childish ponytails above her ear. She is merciless critic of everything, not only books, but history, political bombists, local figures, music, white people, other Indians, and also the store's operations. In some hope, I waited for her to mention the daily AM disorder, for she'd opened a few days ago, but she did not. When I asked whether things were in place when she came to work, she said that always I'd left things tidy the night before. So this ghost had the power to read the schedule, and for some reason, I was his object of attention in this too. Our shelf talkers are a mess, Asima said, putting away the books we had just received into our system. Penn was working on those, I told her. I'll finish. Although Penn is our most meticulous staff member, Asima is always irritated by how things seemingly go downhill every other day. Plus, we need a better vacuum cleaner, Asima said. I hate it when all the flies from the summer die. In the winter, their eggs hatch and they die too. Then we get that buildup. Dead fly buildup. I know what you're saying. We need a little handheld vacuum, Asima said. Our store's got dust issues. It thrills me when a young person of yourself speaks of dust issues. Oh, Mama Bear, don't call me that. Plus the window glasses, grossness. Azima spritzed vinegar water on the windows, rubbed them clean, then started on the bathroom. Shit, I heard her say. Literally? No, it's the paper towel again. Somebody keeps doing that thing where they tug too many paper towels at the dispenser and they just fall all over the place. Wait, I went to the bathroom to help her. The cheap brown paper towels were scattered across the floor the way in her careless rush Flora had always left them. Hmm. Interesting. All right. Rose flesh trout. Along with losing Flora, we lost. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I don't know how this book is set up. It's definitely not chapters. I mean, yeah. Doo, doo, doo. So, boy, they're going to give me that word again that I can't say. Muzza, mezza. Yeah, I'm not even going to play myself. Okay. So we had to stop between one of those subheadings, I believe. Whew. Along with losing Flora, we lost the light. With the end of daylight saving time, our schedule had tipped backwards, which I always find unsettling. The mornings were again brighter, but night came at a disheartening hour. The sky was black when I closed the store at 6 and walked home hungry. The scent of pistol broth had leaked for the past hour through the walls from the restaurant next door. The windows in the houses I passed were like small stage set, lighted in metal gold. At first, Pollux and I could not bear walking past the glowing windows of houses at this hour. Once in the city, we were children and we were hungry, but now we had moved into an inner ring suburb and become accustomed to glancing in upon small dramas and scenes of comfort. A woman gestured to a child craning over the banister of a staircase. A man stared into a screen of a computer. A boy came in, turning from side to side to admire his paintings. Heads on the couch were visible before bright screens of moving images. These little tableaus are often visible only at this hour before people button down for the night. Snow had not yet fallen, for it was still unseasonably warm. Already passing through these tranquil streets, hmm, I experienced nostalgia for the present, a sense of dreamy disturbance, then despair of how climate change is already altering our world with subtle ease and toppling what's precious and normal. The act of walking down beautiful November street, comfortable in only a thin sweater, was an infected sort of pleasure. Our house is one of the few small cottages left on the street. A few broken elms still shade the boulevard, and we have our tangled old-fashioned yard. The house is one full bathroom upstairs and another attached to a tiny office guest bathroom beside the kitchen. We built in another tiny water closet under the stairs. You duck and you crouch to use the toilet. Okay, cool. Pollock's is too big to use it. His builder uncle bought this house when the market was down in the late 90s because he wanted to live near the lake. The front doors open into a cozy expanse for living, with the kitchen divided off by a heavy old mahogany table that we bought at one of the many estate sales that occurred around us. We even had handmade dollhouse replica in one of the houses, dignified with two-story pillars. Our house is furnished with contents of nearby houses that emptied out continually as people downsize, move, or die. The roving chairs, the endless carousel of display cases, the carved bedsteads, the couches, and the well-used desks make their rounds, life to life, only acknowledging their former owners with a chance orca whale sticker or a dog's gnaw mark on the table. Or, like my own desk, a postcard of Buddha and illustrated CPR instructions taped into a drawer. Pollux and I were both, I mean, Pollux and I were pretending that we both had a taxing day and needed to collapse on either end of the couch. Having dealt with the uncanny president and kept it to myself while shelving books, checking inventory, ringing up customers, I knew that I'd have a somewhat taxing day. But I'm pretty sure that Pollux hadn't. He gone fishing. After his mother died, hey, what are you mothers talking about? Hey, wait a second. After his mother died, my sleepy-looking silver ponytail Potawatomi was raised by hell-raising, much-loved Nukimis, his grandmother, Noko, because his father left them alone in their apartment for a week. Okay, cool. Left them in the shopping mall. Left him with a friend who had a heart attack and died while Pollux was cradling the guy's feet. Noku took custody of Pollux and they moved to northern Minnesota. She married an Ojibwe. Things got better. Pollux went to a regular high school, then started his career as a boxer. Once he quit boxing, he started working as a tribal police officer. That's right. Right after my arrest, he quit policing and moved back to the cities. Pollock's uncle brought him into his construction company, then left the two of them alone with his house. In early 2008, before the crash, Pollock sold the construction company and two new houses. With the proceeds, he bought stock when the market plummeted. What kind of Indian plays the stock market? I once asked him that question. He just said, white man crazy, me take advantage. The stock regains its value and more. Now we have a modest income. He makes designer furniture in the garage workshop. He uses money from his furniture to buy supplies for ceremonial rattles and eagle feather fans. In fact, he applied and now is waiting for the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service to send him an eagle. He's been waiting for almost a year. Pollux attends a lot of Ojibwe ceremonies and Ashikaboys or helper. Okay. We can almost afford him to gallivant around with his hand drum and for me to work at the bookstore. We don't have children of our own, but inherited a niece from Pollock's brother. Traditionally speaking, the children of same-sex siblings are really close to their aunts or uncles. Pollux calls her daughter, and she calls him dad. I heard from Hedda, said Pollux. My heart jumped. I become attached to Hedda too, and also think of her as our daughter, though she doesn't like me. He saw the look in my eye. Don't panic. She's fine. She didn't take the part. Oh, thank God. It sounded so sketchy. Hedda dropped out of the Institute of American Indian Arts and waits tables in Santa Fe. She's often asked to be in movies or videos, especially when the city is flooded with artists and collectors at Indian markets. I'm afraid for her because she's impossibly vivid, headstrong, more than a little wild. She's friends with a Seema. I doubt it was anything like a porn film. Anyway, she spurned it. Don't worry. If she had taken the part, I would have gone down and dragged her home. Hedda hasn't spoken to me for nearly 8 months, but at least she talks to Pollux. I know you would have. I'm a terrible mother. Now don't you start. Pollux waved his finger at me. I caught 6 trout. Fall had been so warm that the few streams were still open. He fished with a pal about an hour away in Wisconsin and generally brought home gutted 11-inch trout to Ziploc bags. The fish were always so perfect that I suspected he visited one of those touristy fish stock trout ponds, but he swore he didn't. He asked what had happened at the store. I told Pollux about the book club cardigan wearing woman with sensible haircuts who had bought Marlon James' Black Leopard Wolf, and we were determined to exit in its aura of fever dream storytelling. They read passages to one another in hushed excitement. Anything else from Heather? Nothing. I knew that couldn't possibly be true. Still, I leaned back and shut my eyes. Our agreement is that Pollux cooked the meat and I cooked fish. We alternate specialty soups. I shoved everything out of my mind, especially except how to cook. Excuse me. I shoved everything out of my mind except how I would cook the fish. I would go into the garden and pick huge amounts of parsley, oregano, tarragon, rosemary. We should have frozen dead by now, but instead was flourishing under a light blanket of pine needles. I would chop those herbs finely and stuff the fish, add garlic, saute the fish in butter, sea salt, and wine. How delicious would that be? It does sound pretty good, though. I might have to screenshot that. You know what I mean? The rose flesh trout still gleaming like the river. It turned out to be so. After dinner, we took a walk. My headlamp's dark beam cut through the foamy gray of city dark. It was lesser. It was a lesser human darkness, not like the heart-shredding blackness of the north. Behind the bedroom of our yard sloped down past a towering white plain. The yard ended in a dead alleyway, no more than a dirt trail. Oh, good. Okay, here we go. Down the trail in the park, across the parkway. Okay, here we go. An unexpectedly mysterious forest of ash, Siberian elm, maple, box elder, hackberry, buckthorn, and burdock dropped to the land in a hidden beauty. A bicycle and a walking trail cut through a waving canopy of popple and birch, then swerved off into a swath of restored prairie that gave off grass light and hummed all summer with insects. Down there, a bumbling freight train passed in the night. To get into the woods, we crossed a construction zone. The place had decided to run a light rail through a leafy bike trail. One day, our streets of houses, many of which had been boarding houses, would become condos and apartments. Our Tanglewoods tamed and landscaped. Or perhaps in time, it would become even more abandoned. This area is Dakota homeland, the territory of the Cloud Man's people. That village lay somewhere near I can't say it, Makaska, Wishland. Okay. What? Makaska White Earth Lake, excuse me. Wild rice grew here when this was a watery marshland. Dakota cornfields were patched in neatly. Moose, what? Waded in the sloughs. Maybe wolves did in what is now our yard. Bears shuffled through the oak savanna, gorging on acorns. Tonight, We all walked along quietly, listening for owls. Owls be big, man. I'm mad at owls send me back to the crib. And the whispery. Okay, cool. Uh, in the whispery dark, I wondered about Asima's people, Dakota on her father's side. They had fled from here in 1862 when the state of Minnesota offered volunteer scouts $25 bounties for Indian scouts. The state of Minnesota is funny. Perhaps before the Dakota War, her ancestors were connected to the spot of earth onto the ground beneath the bookstore itself. I peered into the trees, the slender branch tips scraping in the slight wind. The brush around us was alive with scratching, stealthy noise. Many books and movies had their plots, some echoes of my secret experiences with Florida. Places haunted by unquieted Indians were standard. Hotels were disturbed by Indians whose bones lay underneath the basement floors. A neat psychic excavation of American unease with its brutal history. Plenty of what was happening to me happened in fiction. Unquiet Indians. What about unquiet settlers? Unquiet wannabes? According to Penstemon, the Earth's magnetism directs many actions in the unseen world. It definitely does. So I can check energy because the Earth's magnetism. Maybe the bookstore itself is located on some piece of Earth crossed by mystical lines. The invisible ruins had touched during what? A shift, perhaps cosmically, a solar storm. Something had jostled reality. Perhaps cold cloud man's relatives were annoyed with me because I was sleeping with the Potawatomi. I gripped my husband's hand. He asked if I knew who the traditional enemies of the Potawatomi had been. We were fire makers, he said, so people like us. Boiled away, which perhaps became Potawatomi, means to start a fire. In Ojibwe, Ojibwe language. Some elders refer to them as fire making people. Maybe your people were arsonists, I said. Otherwise, why would you have known for doing something that everybody could do? Oh, we were special. We could start fires with our bare hands. You know how rough your head's got to be to start a fire with your bare hands. That's wild. Keep seeing your Florida culture vulture. He stopped, rubbed his hands hard, cradled my face in hot palms. We were on a little patch of ground right beside the walking trail. My headlamp shone straight into his eyes. I put my hands up and pressed the off button. We stood, signed in the dark of the city. I leaned against him. I let myself float into Pollux. I felt his heart beat against my breast. Felt my way along the paths inside of him, lightless. If I stepped off a cliff into the heart of his, he'd catch me. He'd put me back in the sun. I thought of Pollux standing in the glowing colors of the kayaks outside of Midwest mountaineering, his outline and the shadow inside. Do you believe in ghosts? I asked. You know I don't. Or you know what I think anyway. I was hoping you changed your mind. Nope. Well, if you did change your mind and there was ghosts, who would they visit? Would they visit normal people, good people, or would they visit people like me? Pollock snacked his headlamp, gripped my shoulders, and stood there. I shielded my eyes. Turn that off, okay? I just want to see who I'm talking to. What's this people like me? People who dishonor the dead. He was already dishonored, said Pollux. I know he was a fairy, but I still regret things I did. Mostly I regret not checking budget armpits. Pollux took my arm and we began walking home in silence. I knew he thought that people who saw ghosts had permeable mental boundaries. They believed in all sorts of other things that annoyed him. Evil fireballs, for instance, or beings he didn't even think it was appropriate to discuss. I couldn't bear that Pollux might see me as cracked in this way anyhow. When we got in the door, we were shedding our coats and mittens. He spoke. You gotta stop thinking this way, Tukey. You are not the same person who Shanghai old Budgie. You are an intelligent, bookish nerd who knows 1,000 ways to cook fish. Thanks, Nina Ben, I said. But what if I was bothered by a ghost? Pollux gave me the annoyed look I was dreading, but then he softened. Not me saying this, okay? But if that ever happened, my grandma would tell the person to talk to the ghost, ask it to not bother him, smudge the place down with sage and cedar, and put out tobacco. Give the poor ghost some comfort and make peace. Okay, I said. Thank you. I'm going to bed early. Pollux kissed my hair and closed the bedroom door. It's just me and you, so I'm taking this water break. Let's see, I'm on the struggle. Woo, I'm catching the water. Damage. Whew. Pollux kissed my hair and closed the bedroom door. He knew that sometimes I needed to retreat. I crawled naked into our king-size bed with the foam topper and the mattress pad pulled down over the foam. With carefully chosen pillows from the discount pillow store with cheap white but ever so white sheets and pillowcases. When I creeped into our bed, there was joy and relief of a person entering a secret dimension. Here I shall be useless. The world can go on without me. Here I should be held by love. That's what my bed feels. Jesus Christ. Still, quite often, in this perfect shelter, my consciousness refused to surrender. I know that's right. Jackie, an insomniac, has told me that the same thing is true in her. She says that she is hypervigilant and resists losing consciousness. That's how they say they can't go to sleep. I know that's right. She's like hypervigilant, resist losing consciousness. I lay awake thinking about Florida. I would smudge the store. I would know her habitual route in the store, for it seemed to me that the pattern existed. Eventually, Pollux rolled in next to me and immediately dropped off. I didn't fight my sleepiness. I listened to my husband breathe until he fell into an absolute slumber and droned beside me. The freight train slowly galloped across the parkway and woods. Owls talked. A fox barked. Foxes don't bark. And they be like, ah! It's not like they're out there screaming. Foxes, they like, for real. So like, ah! Ah! They don't bark. Ah! I'm sorry. Jesus Christ. Foxes don't, they don't bark. I'm sorry. Owls talk. A fox bark. A fox bark. People passed, laughing drunkenly in the streets. There were distant sirens. For a short time, the wind rose in the white pine, my favorite sound. I began to feel that lonely intensity, that shiver of being, non-being. At last, I began to worry about money, and my brain gave up. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna stop there. It's been that hour. I got a headache anyway. Then we'll start with, I don't even know what this word is. I'm gonna show it to you. Let me see if you can read it. So, and then if you can read it, you just gotta tell me. Cause I ain't the smartest man. What did that say? Oh shoot. Go back. Not the day we give thanks. That thing above it. Yeah. Yeah. Midge with God. Jesus. Yeah, I might have to type that into the YouTubes and have them be like, tell me what that said. So I'm showing y'all too much of my place. Yiddity. All right, well, I had fun. Pick up where we left off next week. We might, I gotta do a reading tomorrow anyway. But we might actually have somebody on Tuesday. Because the girl Kelly did join. Yeah, I know you can't. So I'm just trying to see, you know. I'm just gonna read. Girl, listen. I got to certain points. I was just skipping over the words I couldn't read. Just get to it. Like I wasn't about to play myself. But Kelly, who tried to join last week, she actually did join, and I had just ended the show when she was able to join. So she's supposed to come back next week. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, I know. I ain't terrible. That word is terrible. No disrespect. Let me not say that word is terrible. I mean terrible in the sense that it's difficult to read, and my phonics skills would not help with that. You know what I'm talking about? No, I'm talking about. Uh, no, I'm talking about. Yeah, your boy is not going to embarrass his family today. All right, well, so long, farewell. I think I'm gonna make that post tomorrow. Right, what post? I got like 10,000 posts that I was supposed to make, but that what is it? Logo. I feel like it's a tie on that logo thing. And I'm still tripping on that. Everybody like that. How y'all like that old professor looking bitch? Did I post it? No, I already posted that tomorrow. Do some work on the computer. Um, yeah, I gotta finish joining. I mean, not that you all care about this, but I gotta finish joining all those hotels. Nah, I did the hotels. My favorite. I like Hilton hotels first, really. And then I mess with IHG. And after that, I'm like, Lord, because I do not like Marriott. What? Reshoot? Reshoot what? The other pick. Reshoot another pick. Another pick of what? Of the food? Oh no, I got hella videos of the food. Oh, you talking about for the headshot. Okay. Whoo. I think some of that is my editing. But I'll try that. Maybe I need something a little closer. So edit. But I don't that other one just ain't my vibe. I figured I was gonna be able to get another one the next year. Like I only need this for 1 year, but I needed it for more than a year. I just wasn't gonna get me another one the next year. I got that one there free. Do your glasses work? Oh wow. I don't know. Let me see. Nope. I don't think so. No, I told you before. It's where this the chat comes up. It's a darn event list button icon sitting right in the middle of the sentences. So it's always blocking a piece of word. So I have to use my big deciphering brain to figure out what to say. So now if you type I can see glass because it block out GLA. So it just look like do yours is this work? And then the other one was reshoot other pic. It's like what? Reshoot other pic? I don't know what that is. See now I'm just rambling and talking on. Shit, ain't nobody watching with me. Anyway, talking crazy. Hey, that was my sexy face. Did it work? I was like, what is that? Oh, that's my I got that little candy jar over there. Well, it ain't no candy jar, it's a vase. I said I was gonna stop buying flowers again, but I think I'm gonna get a plant for my bathroom instead. No. What? See, your chats be so delayed, man. Oh, you talk about my sexy face. All right, I remember. How about this one? The smile. You see, okay, so this is what it says. The SMILOES though. So I figured that smile, and that must be does though. I'll tell you about that dude who swear I was from Sierra Leone. Every time he saw me, he be like, hey man, hey, you from Sierra Leone? I'm like, nah, dog, I ain't from Sierra Leone. He be like, man, you look like you from Sierra Leone, cause I'm from Sierra Leone. And I used to always wonder, I'm like, bro, how you from Sierra Leone? You wind up in North Charlotte. Like, and I mean the old North Charlotte too, not this new North Charlotte that's university. I'm talking about old North Charlotte. Like, dog, how you act, man? How you come? I get okay. I guess the same way I wound up in East Charlotte from a foreign country too. So you know how that go. I can't talk trash. I ain't from America. Proud to be an American. I told you when I was a kid, they used to call me green card. For my family, because didn't nobody else know I was green card. Well, I ain't need no green card. I'm a proud American. Oh Lord. Okay. I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm tired of we finished joking and stuff. So I had fun. See y'all Tuesday or next Thursday when we start with Michigan Wadakana. Yeah, I said it. All right. Peace. Peace.